We are probably reading suboptimally. So what are the things that avid readers do to read more, remember more, and have more fun while reading? First things first, you know what's great? Fresh air. Reduces stress and anxiety, and compared to the indoors, when we're outside, we're breathing much more oxygen-rich air, meaning that our brains can work faster for longer. Now, I'm no Andrew Huberman. I'm no Andrew Huberman, but I think he would agree. Try reading outside. Go and ask that girl that you've been staring at, meaning to talk to, on a reading date. Then go to the park alone, shut off your phone, and do a little reading. I think you'll immediately see the difference. Books disappear in no time, and you'll find that you're remembering bits and pieces from the books much more clearly than if you were reading inside. Next up, always have a knife nearby while you're reading. If anyone tries to distract you, stab them. Keep a knife nearby to remind you to cut off books. Be ruthless. If a book is not holding your interest, you think it's boring, or you just can't will yourself to read it and you know you won't pick it up, stop reading it. There seems to be a contract whenever we start a book, we have to finish it. But the better you can get at cutting off books, the better, because there's so many fantastic books out there to waste our time with bad or mediocre books. This is particularly helpful if you follow number 3. Did you watch my last video? If not, I recommend 10 books that are certifiably life-changing that you can get absolutely for free. Avid readers know that you can't spend $30 on every single book you want to buy, so they find other ways, whether that's going to the library, getting used books at a bookstore, happening upon a PDF online, or borrowing from a friend. The more you have, the better. The key is to not read only one book at a time. Instead, try reading many books in parallel. This is great because inevitably you will hit a wall on some books. Just don't feel like reading them, it's not capturing your interest at the moment, or you're trying to go to sleep and you don't feel like going that deep in what you're reading. In this case, you can switch over to a handful of other amazing books that you have which you are excited to read. This doesn't mean that you're not going to get through the first book, you're just putting it on hold while you gain exposure to another book. This also makes it so that you have no excuse not to read. Now ideally you should have books that are fiction, light reading, that you can pick up and put down at will, what I'd like to call your toilet books. And then you have books that are maybe a little bit deeper, a slower read that you have to think on more. This makes it so that you never have a valid excuse to not read. Then, whenever you leave the house, put a book in your backpack, bag, purse, satchel, whatever you carry on a daily basis. There is bound to be a little 10-minute pocket here and there when you're waiting for someone or you're riding the train where you can pick up and read a couple pages. These are normally the spots in which we would just pull out our phone and start doom scrolling, but instead we can make progress, read a couple pages, which over the course of a year or a decade ends up compounding to be many books finished that we wouldn't have otherwise. If you don't know what to read, check out this video that I made on book recommendations specifically for people who aren't readers yet. Another key to having many books is whenever someone recommends a book or you hear about a book that you think is interesting, add it to your queue. This can either be a notepad file, a shopping cart on a website that you like to buy books from, but just getting into the habit of creating a list of things that you want to read makes it so when you finish a book, you know exactly where you're going next, and there's no long pauses where there's nothing interesting that you feel like reading. Then once you have a number of books, something that you will notice avid readers do is they're not just sitting in one stack in the house. Sometimes they are, but mostly they're spread out all over the house. Wherever you tend to spend time, whether that's in the bathroom, on the couch, in the kitchen, in your bedroom, keep a book everywhere. So if you ever feel tempted to waste time, go on your phone, there's always a book nearby that you can substitute for it and make a little progress. Personally, I found the bathroom to be the best place to read, but I'm kind of constipated, so. If you feel like days or weeks after you read a book, you can recall absolutely nothing, 1, you're not alone, and 2, try developing a note-taking system. This can be as simple as highlighting passages that you like, or as in-depth as writing 10-page book reviews on each book that you read. There's little to no point in reading if you don't remember what you're actually reading. I mean, it's still fun, but you're not gaining anything from it. So try to develop a structured way that you're capturing the insights that you're getting from reading. I'm actually going to make a separate video on this coming soon. I think it's fine to have a very deep understanding in one topic, but you want to make sure that that is not all that you read about. You can still read very broadly while going deep on one specific topic. One of my old bosses used to say that he would look for people when hiring that were T's, whereby you have very spread out and varied interests and then also have depth in certain fields that you're interested in. Try to be a T, someone who is comfortable reading in any genre and is curious and interested in exploring disparate topics and then finding connections between them. That's really where creativity comes from. Most importantly, avid readers read on a daily basis. They've built a bulletproof habit that allows them to make progress, no matter how tiny, every day. If you'd like to learn how I would build a habit of reading if I had to start over, check out my last video. Thanks for watching.